What's going on, Legionnaires? Welcome to an episode of the Legion of Comic Correction, where we talk all things comic books.
Comic books!
Tonight, we have another episode of the Moon Nightly News with the Legion, where we are talking about the new Disney Plus show, Moon Knight. Second episode dropped. So we're going to talk about it tonight.
I got
you got
baton.
your pole, your pipe.
I got my batons
What do I do with
ready.
my pipe?
You have my batons ready.
Though I drew you as Mr. Knight because you're classy, but then I don't.
Classy.
You're not really
Google classy.
I think you're much more like the other one.
I'm really not the classy one. I'm very interested in how you drew a line to me being classy.
You can pull off a good three-piece.
With
the vest and everything?
once every 4 years.
True.
Yeah, well,
Truth.
how many
Truth
times do
speak.
you think Steven's going to put on the suit?
Yeah,
Probably like never.
I hope no more. I'm actually done with Steven.
I liked Mr. Knight. I thought he was cool.
I'm done with it. It's
Well,
cool.
we'll talk about it.
It was like a little, okay.
I honestly don't think it's going to be a big thing because it's not a big thing in the comics, but it's a cool kind of.
Hopefully not.
He's coming back.
It's probably a little bit, but it's a current.
Because remember in the
what?
trailers, he was in like a casino kind of looking thing.
To do what?
yeah.
He's got the old.
Maybe count
I don't know.
some cards.
He's super smart. He is Charlie
right.
Babbitt.
Yeah.
Isn't that the Tom Cruise
Just
and
move
Dustin
along.
Hoffman? All right. If you are new here, guys, make sure you like and subscribe.
Just
Hit that
do it.
bell.
Just-
we would love you to.
I know there's
do
about
it.
10,000 of you that have been watching that are
And
just
just
like,
aren't. Well, you know what
no,
we do?
you should do it.
We do look in our analytics, and a
We
lot
know
of
who
the
you
people
are.
who watch are not subscribed.
We know who you
So you should. You should do it.
Make you like us.
Yeah.
and subscribe.
You guys need one of these lists.
No.
You should
No,
say,
no.
I'll
I'm
find
just
you-
By the way,
forcing people to push a
speaking-
button. That's
so I'll
all.
find you
Yeah,
and,
he's
and
just-
make you like us.
Well, that's different.
You're gonna love me.
That's different. And
Why?
so for what we're talking about here, if those of you haven't been following along with the last few episodes,
Yeah, true.
this is the times Greg sounds like a serial killer tally. You know,
Right.
what did you call it?
SKDA. Serial
SKDA.
killer data acquisition.
There we go, the
Right.
SKDA,
Which is-
and we actually had to add a tick
Pre-show.
between episodes
Yep.
because we just couldn't let him get by with
Nope.
naming that child murder is not okay. That's where he draws the line as well.
Right. Well, Steven does too. I think I'm. Well, anyway,
I mean, he's killed many people.
this is why.
Who
But he
knows?
said there are other acceptable forms.
This is why you will see in our little icon down here. I was encouraged to make me Harrow the.
Yes.
The cult
it
leader.
just made a lot more sense.
So,
it made a
the
lot more
kind
sense.
serial killer.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
I
didn't-
100% could
disagree.
see you doing that sort of handshake where you're just like,
Yeah, here, come here. Let me hold your hands. Come here. Dead.
I don't have the stamp. though.
And dead.
I would love to see you.
I believe you.
In our world that we are going to create.
Yeah. Well,
Except
don't
you're not.
worry.
You're going to die.
listen.
I
it's,
believe you.
It's
Unfortunately, she doesn't.
You're dead.
You're dead. You're
It's
gone.
like-
You're gone.
Figure it out.
It's like heaven on earth. All right. Well, anyway.
Close.
If you have not already, please like and subscribe. Check out our description. We got lots of links down there to all different kinds of really cool places like Patreon, where you can support us and get a bunch of extra content. We are voting on stuff right now. So there's a vote going on right now for a new series that we're working on that we're kind of planning out. And there's behind the scene photos.
Yep.
And there's early access to our content.
Drawings.
So you can subscribe there. Yeah.
Yep.
And if you don't want to subscribe at Patreon and pay there, you can go to our legionofcc.com and spend money, which goes to help us in the podcast to get sweet merch. Sweet merch. Like this.
Merch.
Sweet merch like that.
Wait,
Twinsies.
don't point to we're exactly the same.
We should do the Dragon Ball Z thing.
Oh! Oh, we missed. We're going to be fat. We're going to be fat and short. We missed. The bottom finger,
That's right.
we were
We
good.
did,
The
yeah,
top
but-
finger, we missed.
All right, one more
and
time.
All
now-
right.
We missed on the bottom finger.
Now we're skinny.
Now we're skinny. Now we're skinny. Now we're skinny. We're not going to get it. We're not going to get
One
it.
more
Just move
time
on.
and we'll be hairy.
No. Yeah, I don't want to. I mean, we
Look at
can't
him.
have
He's-
that much power.
He's prime
Too much power.
Physical specimen over here.
Too
This
much
is what
power.
we would become.
I just saw what the
Hercules.
Ox King lifted the other day.
I
I don't
know,
need to
yeah,
see it again. I don't
it's
need
incredible.
to be embarrassed
Super
with
powerful.
myself.
There could be more.
Well, he's got.
Only more.
He's hungry. He's got sweet merch too.
That's
Check it
right.
out.
That's
Check
right.
it out. That's the
right.
way you
You
can
didn't get a
support
sweet
us
leg
too.
raise because I'm not wearing my Legion joggers.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you watched last episode, he was, and he showed off some legs.
Do you think
so.
you could do another of those leg raises?
Now I'll probably tear my buttocks.
You gotta give it at least a month,
At least a month.
and you come back to it. Stretch.
I don't do that thing.
beforehand.
What is it called? Stretching or like flexibility. I'm not into that.
Nah, just moving heavy objects from point A to point B.
I kind of just like shuffle most.
You just shuffle. You just shuffle.
every day I'm shuffling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a callback, man.
There was-
That's a long time ago.
I live my life
By every
by
day I'm shuffling.
a number of tenets. Elongation. Lengthening.
elongation and length.
It's from The Office.
I understand.
It's from The Office.
That pose right there was almost a Judge Dredd pose.
It
was close.
You're getting close. Ultimate power.
That's how you gotta
And
channel.
then I gotta walk
That's how you gotta channel the power.
with the shoulders forward.
Well, we're not talking about Judge Dredd. We talked about that before, though. So go watch our
Go
video.
check that out.
Check it out.
We're talking about Moon Knight.
You're not.
Ghost.
No, you're not, sir. No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Yo,
Oscar Isaac is Moon Knight.
he's terrifying. Mark.
Yeah, when Mark's
Yeah.
Mark's in
Terrifying.
Mark mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they
Oh, what?
knock a Mando over. When they watch the security
He
footage.
was so afraid he went to sleep.
when they watched the security footage and he like looked at the camera. And
Oh,
Steven's like,
that was great.
That's not
That's
me.
not
me.
Not me,
We
bro.
know, Steven.
Yo, he
Not
was.
me, bro.
We know.
He looks at he's like, I don't care that you're so ridiculously good looking or you're so
Yeah.
handsome.
Yeah.
It's
Like, it's you,
Yeah.
you're
You're the
you,
same dude.
Same guy.
Yeah, but
same
they-
guy.
It's all about
do-
poise.
yeah,
Carrying
they
how
hold
he
themselves
carries
very
himself
differently.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
so a lot of stuff happened in
also
this
how
episode.
he brushes his hair slightly different.
It's true. He's got that.
Same. But
He's,
different.
well, he's got professional disheveled hair
Right.
as
Yeah.
Oscar,
Right.
as Mark,
Mark.
and then as Steven, he's just got kind of bedhead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but
100%.
he also, it's interesting if you notice, like when he's Steven, he kind of like lets his mouth kind of hang open, like he doesn't quite like. And then when he's Mark, he's very like clenched jaw, like very kind of like. No, I'm serious. Like
Flies.
it kind of looks like it's little things. It's little things. It's
No,
like the-
they're
It's
they're
impressive.
really
It's like he
really
has, like-
intentional touches.
Yeah.
They're really really
It's
intentional
like
in the
he has an
shifts.
overbite, but he doesn't really. So he like kind of lets his mouth hang open, and like he just looks much more kind of dorky and awkward.
I love
And then he's all put together as Mark.
I love the conversations between them.
Oh,
in the
so great.
reflections,
Yeah.
I think those are great. And I mean, obviously they film them at different times, but
Sure.
like the way that they play off of each other, even in a pre-recorded
Yes.
like session,
That's talent.
is amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
you can see it's two completely different characters being played by
Yes.
the same person, which is just awesome in the same film. It's really hard to pull off, and Oscar Isaac is just a phenomenal actor who's he's able to play both roles so well.
Right.
Yeah, so Steven gets fired from the museum for
Yeah.
trashing the bathroom because he turned into Moon Knight to
Yeah, and
fight the Jackal.
clearly this is becoming a larger thing, which they're going to dig into.
Oh, yeah.
That you can't. Only certain people can see
Right.
the
Yes.
Egyptian beings.
Probably just the avatars.
Right.
Probably just the ones that are possessed by the Egyptian gods.
Well, and I don't know if that's entirely true, because here's the thing. Harrow says that when we find out in this episode, we're going to jump right into the middle of it, which
Yes.
we do.
We do that all the time.
The
Normally.
center of the pizza.
Harrow
Yeah, it's the best. It's like
eat the
taking
center
a
of the
pie and
pizza
just
and
putting
then
your face in the middle.
right. Harrow, it was a former avatar for
Khonshu.
Khonshu.
Yo, it's so cool. That was a
It's
cool
like,
drop. I
that
did not
is
see
I
that
did
coming.
not see that
we were
coming
talking about
at all.
we were talking about
Dracula.
well, yeah, but we were talking about not you were mentioning how like you
Ahmed.
don't get surprised as often.
Right.
But that was I felt like that one came out
I
of
mean,
nowhere.
it wasn't that big of a surprise for me, to be honest.
Well, okay, Mr.
It just
Smarty Pants
wasn't-
over here. See that guy over here?
No, but what I'm
He's so
saying,
smart.
He's the best.
around, no one's ever gonna bring me down.
It's the best.
Around.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not. It's not that I'm saying that I was so smart. It's just in terms of big drops, I was expecting something more.
Big brain guy.
Yeah, big brain.
Big brain. Big brain over here.
Let me dig into this though.
Yeah, so he
He's
was an
saying he was
avatar
a former
of Khonshu.
avatar.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
it's either that you are a former avatar, only avatars and former avatars can see him, or are we saying that Harrow is able to summon them without seeing them?
So I would say so the if you remember, Steven mentions that It's Ahmet, right?
Ahmet. Yep.
She's a crocodile lady.
Crocodile.
Right?
Crocodile
Dundee.
face,
yeah,
Link's
crocodile
body, and I think
Oh, look at this guy. Showing his
something's-
Egypt stuff.
not really. I just read on the internet last week.
Do you read hieroglyphics too?
I do. Well, it's not more of a reading. It's more of just
More
an
like an
alphabet.
alphabet.
Yeah, exactly.
You get me.
I do. Are you trying to divorce me? But I love you.
I would never divorce you.
It's a precious moment.
It is.
Precious
This is
moment.
tender.
Yeah.
You're just
so
jealous.
You
I'm not because I'm
look
dressed
at
like
this
him.
guy over here. Are we split personalities? I'm totally Steven.
Yeah,
You're much more Mark.
Yeah.
I'm much more Steven
Yeah,
than you are.
that makes sense.
I'm just Moon Knight.
I totally.
We
we're
are the
three.
incarnations here.
I
This
totally
is it.
related to Steven when he's like, "You're gonna see this footage and it's gonna melt your brain." he's like, "Go ahead and roll the film."
Do you understand?
So
Do you
that just happened?
He goes-
That is almost the exact conversation we had when we were doing the detective work of trying to find the raccoon in our school building.
Yeah, 100%.
We were like, "You're gonna look at this footage, and we have no idea where this poop came from.
was incredible.
It just appeared out of nowhere."
It did appear. Listen, and then he's like, "Are you crying?" Like, yeah, maybe a little bit.
Maybe a
but-
little bit.
Anyway, so she's a crocodile lady, right?
Yep.
So he's not summoning her, right? He's summoning like demons or beasts from the Egyptian underworld or wherever.
Yeah.
So,
No, I know that.
well,
I get that.
but what I'm saying is that so that's not a god. So he can't see another god. He can't see Khonshu
He can't see Khonshu
And so-
anymore.
right? And
Right.
so Mark probably can't see Ahmet, but they probably both can see the lower level demons. Like that's what I'm thinking. Is
I
that
don't know.
because
This is
they're
gonna be-
avatars? I don't know. We'll see.
It's going to be interesting to try and figure that piece out.
Is
Who
it just like
actually
who
can
gets
see
to
what?
It's
see?
like you need to believe.
Maybe. No, but I don't know if that's entirely true.
Maybe they're
because
wearing cloaks of invisibility. I don't
Layla,
know.
Follow your
Layla
heart. She
already
saw-
saw him in the suit.
Right.
So she believes what's going on
Yeah.
is nuts.
Well, and it's
So-
different. You mentioned Predator when she
Yeah,
smashed
like
the
that.
bottle on him and the water ran down.
Right,
saw the
She
outline.
saw that.
She did, yeah.
So
So, like, why are they invisible to some
don't know.
and not invisible to
Maybe
others?
they have like cloaking abilities, but because of the people who they are, they have enhanced vision.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Could be that
I
too.
doubt that.
I will
but
say,
it's a possibility.
I will say, and we've talked about it, and I know that like in the Batman, which we love so good,
Yes.
I don't think it would have worked, but in other iterations of Batman, it would have. This was an example of you can do the whited out eyes and it looks sick.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
he
yeah.
totally had the whited out eyes and everything, and it doesn't look weird. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like in a different iteration, obviously the Batman is much more. It's too grounded for that.
Yes.
But
Yes.
like I would say the Zack Snyder Batman could have done it, and
Sure.
like it would have been cool. But like nobody's ever really done that. And
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
was the first time, and it looked really cool in the cowl,
Yeah, I
the
think
bandage cowl.
seeing Moon Knight roll more here
Yeah, man.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Yo.
I just want more Moon Knight. I want more Mark.
Catching that moon.
I want no more Steven. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good with Steven.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I've had my
Well,
fill
yeah.
of Steven.
I think if Steven like steps into his
Yeah, into
like his
Mr. Knight.
understanding of his power,
Yeah,
and
his
because I mean he
role.
punched the
Yeah.
thing and he was just like check that out.
Yeah, like he has
I
a
don't-
fist. Yeah.
I'm not as interested in seeing Steven fight. Like I truthfully am
No,
not.
no.
What I'm
Yeah,
interested
he's the numbers guy.
The only thing I would be interested in seeing Steven step into is if he fully embraces his role
Yeah,
in their
yeah.
Like the
in
brains.
their yes
Yeah.
Yeah.
in their
Well, I mean,
like I don't want to call it a relationship, but trifecta. Like right now, I
Trinity.
Trinity. Thank
Yeah.
you. There it is. I would like to see him like fully embrace. Like I'm not fighting you, Mark, but
Right.
this is a moment where you actually need me more,
Yeah.
and you need my brains.
Like counting cards.
Exactly.
Yep.
Right,
exactly.
right.
Like we saw in the trailers.
Yep.
yeah, and he's obviously, I mean, genius level. He
He's
speaks
incredibly
French.
smart, and this
He
is where.
knows ancient Egyptian. He knows hieroglyphics.
Why
he
is
can
he a
decipher
gift?
them? And
Why was he on the gift
well, because it's probably because
teller or whatever
he
it's
doesn't
called?
have. He has no like self confidence.
But yeah, I mean
You know, like none.
You know, like
So
the
people just
stories
walk
of
on him.
genius.
Yes.
Geniuses.
So
Yeah.
I guess
Goodwill
it's the
Hunting.
rubbing-
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
I guess it's the rubbing off, though. Then it's like some of Mark. You know, sometimes I walk into a classroom and I see a math problem on the
equation,
board.
I just solved it.
And I just solved it like that.
Sometimes I solve it wrong just to mess with you.
But no,
yeah,
I mean,
good.
maybe
Yeah.
there will be some of Mark
Yeah.
who rubs off on Steven. So Steven watches,
Right,
I
right.
mean, at the end, we see like Steven is not happy in being like stuck
Right,
in
yes.
and awake.
Yeah,
He's
and
like
being able to watch
awake,
everything.
able to watch everything.
Yeah,
But
it
maybe he
sucks.
learns from Mark. Maybe he
Yeah.
gets some of that confidence and swagger that he needs to then be able
He
to
wants,
actually
he wants to
apply.
earn his spot.
Yeah.
Right,
Well, then
right.
he'll eventually, hopefully, understand why Mark's doing what he's doing, because he ends up throwing a
he
bunch of
really-
insults at Mark.
He really
Right.
and
dislikes
being
Mark
like,
right now.
being
He
like,
is
you know,
not
you ruined your
okay.
marriage,
Yep.
you ruined this, and Mark was like, you don't know what you're talking about, and
Right.
Right.
and it's true. Like
Right.
he doesn't have all the pieces. He's just seeing what's left over, and Mark seems to be thinking that he's doing it to protect Layla, which is cool.
Do you understand why I wore this shirt? I wore this
Why?
shirt because this is a show about zombies. Moon Knight
Yeah.
is a show of
100%.
zombies.
Yeah,
He literally talked
Steven died
about
today.
They talked about how
Yeah.
Mark was a corpse.
Yep, he was dead.
Khonshu talks about he's a corpse
Yeah.
when he found him.
Yep.
We're talking about raising Amit.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
we're this is a
Steven
zombie
died.
Do you know why I wore this shirt?
show. Drop it in the comics.
Because we want people to talk
Because it
to
was
us.
clean.
Come on.
Oh.
That's a I mean
yeah,
that's a
clean's
reason.
important.
It's not a good
Clean's
reason, but it's a
important.
reason.
It's
Well-
the only reason.
And Steven died in this episode. He literally when he got hit
Straight up broke his back.
when he got hit with the car,
Yeah.
he's just lying there, and then he like jolts back and gets up, because in the comics, Khonshu will keep him alive,
Right.
and bring him
Yeah, he
back
said it
if
in
he
he
dies.
said in this episode, he's like,
I'll
I'll do
do
whatever.
everything
Yeah.
to protect
keep
you
you alive.
because you're worth protecting.
Right. So there is. So we talked.
Just
to
kidding.
Lance-
He's
But
being used.
you're worth worth protecting to a point, because I could also just deuces and
And
go
pick
over to
somebody
Layla.
else.
Say you never.
Which
So we talked. Well, we talked.
good choice.
We talked. We did some history of Moon Knight. So if you go back and watch our first episode, we'll link
Yep.
it in the description below. If you go back and check that out, we talked a little bit about the history of Moon Knight in the comics.
Yep.
And a little bit about the background. And in that, we mentioned that he developed his split personalities as a kid.
Yeah,
This does not seem like that's the case.
it's not tracking
because-
towards that right now.
Right, because Layla was married to him and had no idea he had a second personality. Whatever. So I did a little more digging, and there is a more current run of Moon Knight where his split personalities, they believe, did not exist, or at least were awakened when Khonshu brought him back to life in Egypt, which
Okay.
would play out in this show because she was
Yeah.
in Egypt with him,
Yeah,
and she thought he died, and then he came back as Moon Knight. And only after that, and he even mentioned, Mark mentions that Steven's been getting stronger. There used to be a wall between him and Steven, and
Right.
now it seems to be broken down, and people
Yeah.
they can like take each other over. So my theory is that Steven is who Mark wants to be.
yeah, I like this theory.
Yeah, Mark-
I like this idea.
Mark is tired of being a killer. He's tired of being a mercenary. He's
Right.
tired of doing Khonshu's bidding. He just wants to be a normal dude who is unremarkable, who just is like a dude that
Yeah.
has a normal job and whatever. And
Well,
he's
he's
calls
clearly-
his mom, right? Like Mark doesn't talk to his mom. Layla said,
Yep.
"Oh,
Yeah.
you guys talking again?" So like he's created Steven who has a
Wants
loving
to talk
relationship
to
with his mom.
Yeah,
And is a normal dude, is not a killer, is a pacifist, is goes so far as being a vegan.
right.
Like, he's the exact opposite of Mark. And so I think it's a
Yeah.
projection of who Mark wants to be.
Mm.
If he
Which is
could
really
ever
interesting. I
leave.
mean, I think that's usually so. He has dissociative identity
Right, right.
disorder, which is the specific term for it. And many times you have other personalities that come out that are formed
Yes.
from specific trauma, or that are a representation of some sort of either protection or something that you want. Like
Yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah.
and I think it's
Yeah.
falling into that category of, this is, I don't need protection. Mark doesn't need protection from Jack. He's
Right.
He is lethal.
even
but
without Khonshu.
he
He's a
doesn't want that.
ex-Marine
Right.
mercenary. Like, he can take care of himself.
He doesn't want that.
Right.
He wants a different life for himself. And so he creates a new personality where he actually
Right.
gets to live that out. I mean, we talked about
Right,
this
right,
before
right.
where and this is something that's very important because the show is not showing this right now.
Yeah,
Mark
yeah.
is the dominant personality. Mark
he's the
is
original.
the original. He is the actual person. But we believe that Mark gave the body over to Steven because that's the life that he wanted. He wanted to be away from everything else. So that makes sense that Mark remained dormant for months. Months away
Until
from
Khonshu needs
Layla
him.
until something came up where Khonshu needed him. And
obviously the rise of Harrow.
Right. And it's the
looking for
rise of
tomb.
Harrow and looking for Amit's tomb. And, you know, I need a little bit more backstory. I know we talked about it. You've given some backstory already, but I mean, in the show,
I think we will.
need them to do a little bit more backstory on Amit and Harrow, how it's gotten to this point. Because the thing about Harrow is that man knows exactly what Khonshu wants and does. He's straight up. He gives no rips about Khonshu. He's like, he's telling you to kill me right now.
Yeah. Oh, did he say, I'm the true justice?
Yeah. Right.
It was funny. It was great.
It was really funny the way that played out, and he also the way he was nonchalant. Khonshu's thrown a fit,
right? He's
just like you don't need to listen to him.
Don't worry about it. Right? Yeah. He had an interesting comment where he said to Steven, "Oh, don't worry, that's all he can do without your help."
Right.
So in other words, the Khonshu can't do anything without his avatar.
Right.
So if you choose not to do what he wants, he can make some wind blow,
move along,
knock some things over, but he can't really do anything.
Right.
Well, and what's even, I mean, Khonshu is even more restricted in this body. So I don't think that
Steven's
it was
body.
In Mark's body. I mean, we know it's Mark. So let me walk this through. Mark, essentially, he's the avatar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mark is the avatar,
the main avatar.
The main avatar. So hear me out on this. Mark has direct contact with Khonshu,
right? All the time. Yeah.
So when he's Steven, it's indirect contact with Khonshu. So Khonshu has even less ability to influence or do anything when Steven is in control, which may be also why Mark created Steven.
Yeah, give him a break.
To protect Layla
even
more.
Sure. Yeah.
If Steven is in control and has no idea that he is an avatar for Khonshu, there's not an easy way for Khonshu to be able to get to Layla. And that is your breaking point right there. You created an entire new personality because you were trying to protect your wife.
Right. And so we find out in the episode that Layla is Khonshu's next desired avatar if Mark decides to leave, or if Mark if he's done with once he's done with Mark, he wants Layla to be the next one. And he's using that as leverage against Mark.
And that's the thing, is I don't know if that's necessarily like if he's just lying to him to get him
could be true too. I was just thinking the same thing. Yeah.
But I mean, she did obviously show she
can
can handle herself, so
she can.
And she talks about all the adventures they've had together and that they fought for these things together. So Layla's very interesting. I was doing a little research on her as well. So she does not exist in the comics at all.
Mm-hmm.
When she was originally announced in the show, they just said her name was Layla. And there is a Layla in the comics that is the only Layla in all of Marvel Comics, and she's an X-Men. She's a mutant. She has to do it. She's in the storyline of House of M. And so people were like, oh, man, they're going to connect to X-Men, right?
Maybe a crossover there.
That's what they were thinking.
Apocalypse.
No.
Marcus
Oscar
Apocalypse.
Isaac.
Another Egyptian Marvel
Oscar
character.
Isaac. Apocalypse. Crossover. But he plays both Moon Knight and Apocalypse at the same time.
Yo, he's all
Talk
about
split personality.
He's all about the Egyptian gods here.
Oh, no.
Anyway, he's not even Egyptian. He's Guatemalan, which is, I mean, he's great. But anyway, so
this also helps us to connect into the Yu-Gi-Oh universe with the Egyptian god cards.
Yeah, Blue Eyes White Dragon.
It's not an Egyptian white god card.
Don't care. It would win.
Heart of the cards.
Heart of the cards. Thank you.
Anyway, so Layla.
As you do.
Layla's last name was revealed after the show dropped, and it is not.
I summoned my dark magician.
Shut up, nerd.
Had to do it. Had to be done. Had to
Nerd
be
calling
done.
a nerd
I never
a nerd.
understood how
Nerd calling nerd.
The
It
dark
takes
is-
one to know one.
the dark magician he couldn't see. He had like a hood and the hair over his eyes. I never got that.
Yeah, well, because he was basically an embodiment of Yu-Gi-Oh.
No,
You didn't watch the whole show, did you?
No, I didn't.
No. Move on. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I really don't. I just
No.
remember that he was like a little kid, and then occasionally he'd get a really deep voice.
Yeah. The dark magician is a much bigger part.
Really?
Yeah.
He looked like the other dude with the
No,
brown
so
hair.
Yu-Gi-Oh, just
Remember
as
the
a
other
quick
dude with
side,
the brown hair with like the swipe hair?
Yu-Gi-Oh
kinda like him.
is a pharaoh. Like he's
Like a
embodied,
reincarnated
like
pharaoh?
no, he's embodied. This is similar. Like he's embodied by the soul of the pharaoh.
So what is
So,
with
like,
everybody
when he-
hating Moon Knight?
When he has,
They're like, oh, it'll be
when
Moon Knight
he is
now.
like taller, when he's like a little kid, it's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
but when
yeah.
he's like taller and everything, that's
yeah.
Pharaoh. That's Pharaoh embodying him. And so,
weird.
like,
So
literally,
he's Pharaoh's avatar.
he's Pharaoh's avatar. Not a joke. I'm not like this is actually. I watched. I
Who
was
would-
really interested in Yu-Gi-Oh at one point, and then it came on one of the streaming channels, and I binge watched the whole thing, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this
It's
is
so much
ridiculous."
better than you thought it was?
No, it's so much worse. Like, but I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop.
Who would you cast as Yu-Gi-Oh and Moon Knight?
Who would I cast as Yu-Gi-Oh from Moon
I would
Knight?
cast.
What do you mean?
I would
That's
cast-
Wait,
so
like
hard.
someone, if you could pick
someone would
anyone,
play Yu-Gi-Oh. I would cast Charlie Day as Yu-Gi-Oh the child, and
Hayden Christensen.
and then Channing Tatum as Yu-Gi-Oh the adult.
No.
I think
No,
that's just
no, you're
That
doing
makes
it wrong.
sense.
No.
No, I think that
Listen,
works.
Listen, there, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pharaoh.
Yeah, the Pharaoh.
Okay, the Pharaoh is
Yeah.
clearly Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Clearly, like without a doubt. There's,
He's too
I mean,
muscular.
it's perfect, absolute perfect casting. And the Yu-Gi-Oh child
It's Kevin Hart.
has to be Nicolas Cage.
No, it's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Actually,
Kevin
yeah,
Hart.
it's gotta be Kevin,
Kevin Hart is the
Kevin
child.
Hart
Yeah,
is the
100%.
child, and then Dwayne the Rock Johnson is Pharaoh.
Dwayne, we know you watch this podcast.
This is a good
Yeah.
idea.
You need to
This
pitch
is
this.
a good idea.
You have to be Nicholas.
They
You know who
did
Nicholas Cage
Jumanji
is? You know who
and
Nicholas
Jumanji
Cage is?
too.
Nicholas Cage is Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Nicolas Cage
He just
is
plays the dragon.
Is the Blue Eyes White
He's the
Dragon?
giant dragon.
Yeah, he plays the dragon.
I think it would. I think it would work.
or the Dark Magician.
Anyway, that's true. Oh,
Yeah,
there you
he
go.
could
There
be
you
the
go,
Dark
man. He could be the
Magician.
Dark Magician.
Yes.
What was the magician? Sorcerer's Apprentice. He was a sorcerer already.
Yeah, already. And here's the crossover.
And I think he's
All
already.
right, we're
I
way
think
off.
He's
We're
actually
way
a
off
magi-
track
right?
here.
Wasn't he Sorcerer's Apprentice?
Harry
Wasn't he
has
the old guy?
Harry
Anyway.
is over here calculating how far off track we are. He's literally calculating in his
27
mind.
squared.
It's 27 squared.
Anyway,
All right.
back to Layla. So Layla, they released her last name, and it does not match the Layla from the comics.
Okay.
So people are wondering who she is.
Who
What
is
I believe,
she?
I believe, is that she is just a amalgamation of maybe some other character, but mixed with the woman named Marlene that we talked about in the first episode, who was the love of Mark Spector's life in the comics. It matches up because she joined him in Egypt in the comics,
Okay.
and then throughout his time as Moon Knight, she fought with him.
Okay.
And she went on missions with him, and she helped him for a very long time. And then he also did his best to keep her away from it and protect her. So it seems like they're
Why
just
wouldn't they
taking-
just? But what just doesn't make any
That's what's
sense is like, why
confusing.
wouldn't they?
Why aren't they
name
naming her
her
Marlene?
Marlene?
I don't know, and that's the only thing that's confusing me because everything that she plays out makes me reminds me of the Marlene character, and so I don't know why.
Marlene is
Maybe
two syllables.
Khonshu, like maybe Khonshu.
I'm actually
we
not
can't
joking
have
about it.
two-syllable names.
No, but like they like shorter names. I'm actually not joking about that. Think about it.
Yeah, but they're so true to so many things about comics.
I know you're right.
Like, why would they just not?
It
pick
doesn't make any
Marlene?
sense. What were you thinking?
Maybe what's the spirit's name now?
Khonshu.
Khonshu, thank you. What if like Khonshu kind of like not brainwash her, but like hypnotize her to like be not Marlene, and they
Oh.
also he's doing that to then have her forget who she was and who Moon Knight or who Mark is, and then Mark is deceived by that, and so he created literally someone that Mark loved and everything, and still has all these emotions for, but it's not who he thinks it is. And he's solely using her embodiment as a
Yeah.
trap for him.
Maybe.
So she's like a femme fatale that he's
But-
sending
but
in to
with
like
that
distract
idea-
him or to hold something over him.
Right.
But with
Maybe.
that idea, Khonshu,
Yeah.
Khonshu doesn't have the power to do that. Like Moon Knight would have had to do that.
I guess. I don't know.
You know what I'm
don't know.
saying? Like
Maybe
Khonshu can't.
Maybe use a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I don't know.
Well,
could have.
So are you? Wait, are you
I
saying
don't know
that?
which
Are
one
you
that is,
saying
but
that?
you're 100%
Are you saying
right.
that Layla is a construct of Mark's mind? Like Mark is projecting her?
I don't think so
I
that
don't
either because
know,
she
but
was she was in
interacted-
that room.
she
She
interacted
interacted
with the dudes.
with
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
With who, though?
everybody
She
in the
fought-
room.
She remember she threw the dude off the railing, and he's like,
Yeah.
"That was so cool."
And
Yeah, but how many times have they
And
done
Harrow.
Harrow.
Harrow,
He
she came in and
interacted
said,
with
"I
Harrow.
have it," and Harrow talked to her.
Right.
You don't know what you have. Give it to me. I'll
Right.
keep it safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Don't know.
Well,
There's
we don't
something
know.
there though. There's
But
something
she,
there.
yeah, she's very similar to the Marlene character, but they've named her Layla.
Yeah.
Um,
So I just
Yeah.
want to say I thought this was a good episode for
Yeah.
Moon Knight. I was engaged by it. I thought it was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Though am just getting transparently a little bit bored of Disney's like
Right.
style to their episodes. Every episode from every show except Loki.
Yeah.
It does like feels
Definitely a different
exactly the
formula.
same.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like anytime where it's just humans, like no, I'm
I mean,
serious.
it's not
like,
just
well,
humans, though.
But it's not,
like
but-
a Khonshu's like a I don't know.
I know. I mean, you get what
I get
I'm
it.
talking a little bit
I
more.
get it.
Like,
Well, but
I
here's
just,
the thing.
it seems the same to me. It's always, and then here's the thing.
What would you say is
We
the number one show
always
that's
have-
similar?
We always, the number one show that it's similar to,
Yeah.
I would feel like is Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
It
maybe.
feels like
yeah, that's
Falcon and
true.
Winter
It's
Soldier.
a cult. There's a cult involved in Falcon
It
and Winter
feels
Soldier.
just
and
like
it's very
Falcon
on
and
the
Winter
ground.
Soldier.
Well, here's the question though. Here's what let me
And
ask
the
you this.
thing is, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Just the last part is, I'm tired of these always 1 minute snippets at the end where we reveal something cool.
Yeah, some new.
And like, just stop doing
Egypt.
that.
He killed
I don't
somebody.
need to
Cookie
do that.
cutter.
It's
His
so
hands
it's
covered
so,
in blood.
It's
I
so
like it.
following the same structure. We did
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
Disney show does
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
They just are like one minute. Here's something cool to keep you engaged.
Right.
It's like, okay, leave me on a different hanger. Like, leave me
Yeah.
with something else, or
Right.
do something and don't explain it. But like,
Yeah.
we all knew where he was.
Right.
Egypt.
We
Egypt,
all
Egypt.
knew where he was.
Yeah,
He
the
was
pyramids.
going to Egypt, and yeah, he's
Giza.
gonna look out, and we're gonna
So
see
cool.
the pyramids and the Great Pyramid. Cool. I'm like, but
Yeah.
like,
Good to see him shirtless.
I'm done. I'm done with that.
We're just gonna breeze over
I'm
that.
not gonna breeze by that.
breeze over it.
Nope.
Just ignore it.
Just move along, I guess.
Carry on.
Move along.
But yeah,
so let me
I'm
ask
just
you this.
getting bored by it.
Let me ask you this though.
because I feel like it's so predictable.
Well, let me ask you this: how many times in our lives have we ever had this many TV shows come out in the same vein, one right after another? Like if these were
Right.
like years
Never. Right,
apart,
yeah.
like a year apart, you know what I mean?
This is what
Never.
what
You're
we've
right.
always
So
said
it's it's oversaturation.
of why people picked apart WandaVision so much. Is because
Sure.
it was the first one to
Yep, you're right.
Right.
come out, and also why every
We've
movie
been
is
thinking about
ever
it.
compared to that has something to do with a hero, not even a superhero, just a
Yeah.
hero in general, is compared to Marvel because it's an oversaturated
Right.
market of superheroes.
Right. And so it's like,
So
I
it's an
wonder if.
oversaturation of.
I wonder
to that
if-
point, then they should be doing different
Sure.
things.
Why? Make some money.
100%. No,
either way.
Yeah,
I agree.
different character, same outline.
Agree.
Yeah.
I agree with both of you. But
Follow
so
the
I'm-
structure.
what I'm saying though is like if these came out a year apart from each other, we probably wouldn't have this conversation, right?
Maybe not.
Because it wouldn't be as fresh
No.
in our minds.
Maybe
about
almost
the,
a year
the formula.
apart, right?
What was
No,
the
we
last
just
show?
had
No, we just had
Hawkeye.
Hawkeye. Hawkeye
I mean,
ended at
Hawkeye.
the.
Hawkeye was different.
No, it wasn't.
It was the
Wasn't
same. It was the
different.
same formula, different characters.
Formula.
But like,
Same formula, man.
but again, I just like I
Even as
wonder
an
if.
Avenger.
Well, anyway, I wonder if it was
This
if there
guy's
was
better
more
than
time.
Avenger.
If there's more time in between, we wouldn't be thinking this. And I wonder if they're just not like. I mean, you can't anticipate that. And maybe they'll learn from it. You know what I mean? That's what I'm wondering. 'cause
Maybe.
this has never been done
I'm
before,
just
ever.
I'm a little bit
Yeah, I got you.
bored by the structure because I feel
I
like
getcha.
the structure is the same. Is that going to stop me from watching it?
No,
Is
No.
that going to am I going to
Not
not
talk
be
about it.
engaged by
Yeah.
the story?
No, 'cause it's
I'll be
cool.
engaged by the story, but like I just
You
it's
get
like
lost in
I would
Oscar
like
Isaac's
something
dreamy eyes.
different. I would
That's
just
why-
like a
that's
different
why-
approach.
That's why I was bringing it up again, but the Batman was such a palate cleanser.
right?
Yes,
Because it was so
sir.
different.
Yes,
And
sir. Yes,
same with Dune.
Same with Dune.
Right?
Yep.
We've also
Oh my
seen,
gosh.
even though it's not as saturated, we've seen
Same with
sci-fi
Morbius.
films.
I can bring you in warm or I can bring you in cold.
No, cold.
Just bring me cold.
We've seen very like sci-fi films for the last like decade or so have followed a very similar formula.
It's
We're
true.
not as saturated as with like Marvel movies. But Dune was still a very jarring break from what you normally see sci-fi films as, and it was wonderful.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah. I mean,
And
we're
then-
not going to stop watching them. They're great.
No. And then the last
And
thing
they're
I
fun.
have to just say here is,
Say it.
as somebody who suffers from a mental illness,
Yeah.
the way that he was treated in clearly having a mental illness
Oh yeah.
throughout this whole time was like really terrible.
Right.
Like
100%.
I mean, I don't know how he's holding anything together at this point. This man is
His alter ego it worked for the Marines,
all over,
CIA,
and they are, and
mercenaries.
people are just like, well, how do you not understand?
right.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, and I love the fact I think, and we talked about this a little bit. I think they're doing it on purpose to make us. We're supposed to think those people are inconsiderate, but
But it's a lot of inconsiderate. Do you know who the
Well-
most considerate person was?
Harrow.
yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah,
Harrow
he
was the most
'cause he
considerate
addressed it.
person
Right.
because he
He
had a
understood.
conversation with him.
And he understood though.
But that's
he
the
came
point.
from a
He also likes
he
understanding.
came from a place of
He also likes tomatoes.
understanding. No, but, yeah, okay. All right.
I don't really like tomatoes. You can just erase all those now.
What?
Palate slate cleansed.
No more. All evidence is now
No. No.
just null and void.
You know, I was
You maybe
I
get
was,
like a highlighted, maybe partial off.
I was just thinking, feels so fresh in here. Call us the Febreze brothers. Thinking?
Listen. To your point.
Were you just thinking fresh start right there?
First start.
To your point. I'm gonna listen. I haven't used this word in like a year.
Unequivocal.
No.
He knows what word it is.
Juxtaposition.
Yes.
He's about to say juxtaposition.
I haven't. Listen, it's been like almost a year.
You have held
It's been
back. You
pretty
can use
good.
it. You can
I
use it.
use it?
Yeah.
Thank you. So I think it increased the juxtaposition of the
Interaction with
interaction.
Hera.
Well, no. I'm talking about the people who were not considerate toward Mark and
Yeah.
Steven. I think that was amplified by the fact that we are privy to his inner dialogue.
Right.
We're privy to him fighting himself and trying to and getting torn apart mentally. Like we can see that even more so than you would if you even understood it in like reality, because we're
I'm just
in
saying,
his brain.
I understand
But
that.
I think that
get that.
I think
but
that made it
literally
more.
nobody, including
No.
his own wife,
Right.
were trying to actually
Right.
understand
Yep.
what was going on with him.
100%.
Right.
His boss, his wife,
But
the security guard. Everybody is just
Otterman.
making fun of him.
All right, Scotty.
Or
Still
just
Steven.
like putting him down.
But I
and-
think that's they're trying to bring attention to that. Because
I understand, but
mental health-
Harrow
mental
being the
health
one
is-
who is
Yeah.
who takes the time, he
Yeah.
literally traps him,
Right.
puts a walkie in there, and he
Yeah.
says the reason we did this was because we needed to understand
We
what
wanted to
was
learn about
actually
you.
going on. We wanted to learn about what was
Right.
happening.
But
Which
he
is
was
and they were
why-
like,
Why
that is-
it's so enticing. That's
Yeah.
why it's
I
Right, he
understand,
is,
and I
yeah.
mean they
He's
make
the-
Harrow out
Yeah.
now
Like a messiah.
better understand
Yeah.
like why people are
Yeah.
drawn to him. But I
know
still
what?
have a rough time with it
Question is,
because it
though-
just doesn't sit well with me.
does he listen as well as those people in the pamphlet?
No,
Definitely not.
Those people seemed like they were very genuine.
they look like they're good listeners.
Yeah, it's well, and we're hoping. We talked a little bit about it.
He's a good
as-
listener.
He's got big ears.
He's got
We've
big
been-
ears.
We've been talking. We talked about it. Like we're hoping that they bring it around, and they probably will, knowing Disney. They'll bring it around full circle and be like, "This is not okay.
Right.
We need to make sure we're aware of these things," because that was one thing that drew Oscar Isaac to the part.
I know.
Was that he was like, "This is a chance to draw awareness to mental health."
right?
And to play a superhero who struggles with something
struggles
that
with mental
people
health.
struggle with
Yeah.
all the time, and
Right.
it's something that needs to be talked about more. It's something
Yep.
that needs to be
At the
nor-
forefront of conversations.
yeah, normalized in the sense of we need to talk about it. We need to
Right.
learn about it. We need to be able to help people, and we're not going to be able to do that if we don't take the time to listen and to
Yep.
talk.
Yep.
And I think they're going to use these moments at the beginning of the series to kind of make their point even stronger.
I
Right.
think that's a good way to end.
And if they don't, we're going to do it because it is important.
Justice.
Justice.
True justice.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Like, can't you? Anyway, we'll be talking about episode 3 next week, so be on the lookout. If you haven't seen episode 1, click the link in the description down below.
Check it out.
Just there's lots of episodes.
Look at other stuff. There's other stuff.
Got like 150 episodes in there almost.
Really?
Yeah, we're getting real close.
Wow.
Dang, boy.
So go look, and if you want to subscribe, do it. And if you want to like it, do it. And if you want to buy stuff from us,
And if you don't,
do it.
Just reevaluate your life.
yeah, reevaluate your priorities.
Yeah, we'll like you, but we won't like you as much as we would if you helped us by buying things.